Hey, welcome back to another Facebook Live session. I'm Dan Bongino, host of the Renegade Republican podcast here at Conservative Review. We also put our show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So thanks to everyone who listens. I usually don't do Facebook Lives on the weekends. We do them at 9 o'clock Eastern on the Conservative Review page here during the week. And thank you to everyone who shares them and tunes in. I really appreciate it. But today, obviously breaking world news. Yesterday, the death of Fidel Castro, the murderous, brutal, criminal thug from Cuba who destroyed the state, its people, its economic prosperity, its entire economy, the hope of people in the future who fled into shark-infested, dangerous waters to escape this murdering madman. But that's not really the subject of this Facebook Live session today. The subject of this session, and let me just be clear on this, I don't celebrate any human being's death ever, but I'm certainly not going to celebrate the life of a murdering socialist communist madman. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy was nothing but a street thug who obtained power by brutal force in Cuba. Low end estimates of the murdering rampage, the decades-long rampage of this guy, low end estimates are thousands of people killed, tortured, imprisoned. This man was a savage. He was a thug. There's not language harsh enough to describe the stain on humanity that this man was. And what makes all of this worse? Geometrically worse. You have world leaders who were credible before today and political leaders and activists, some who had strained credibility at best. But Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, tweeting out an almost celebratory, laudatory statement about the life of Fidel Castro. I love our Canadian brothers up north and sisters. They're doing well. They've got a great economy. There's a couple issues up there like we have here. But what a stain sadly on the people of Canada to have to listen to this man, this prime minister was elected by the people, celebrate the life of a brutal, murdering thug? Is he celebrating the lives of the political prisoners in jail right now? Do they get the same response? This is the head of one of the world's major economies, our northern neighbor. He's not embarrassed and horrified? Read the tweet. It's on my Twitter account. I retweeted it if you think I'm kidding. Justin Trudeau should be horrified. The people of Canada never, ever forget that. We also have Jesse Jackson, who has no credibility at all left, but maybe a strain and iota with a few people. He may have some ounce of credibility, but Jesse Jackson called him a freedom fighter. A freedom fighter? Do you even understand what socialism and communism and what Castro and its implementation of these aforementioned disastrous ideologies did? How is fighting for freedom the state stealing people's property? Because, folks, socialism is the government control of the means of production. That's what it is. It is the government control of what was formerly private property. There's no private property. There's no private property rights. There's no right to speak out against the regime. So to all of you Hollywood imbeciles and seventh degree morons out there, you're black belts of stupidity in Hollywood and people like Jesse Jackson out there celebrating this guy. I ask you this, what message do you think that sends to the hundreds of thousands of people who had their lives and their property taken away? To the tens of thousands of souls out there, hopefully residing in a different place, who were murdered under this savage. People sitting in prison cells right now as political prisoners. What do you say to them? You're a disgrace. There's only two possible explanations for you celebrating the life of this guy. You are either an ignorant buffoon who has no concept of history or has no idea what socialism actually is. You don't understand the actual mechanics of it that involve death, destruction, forced imprisonment over people who have different political ideologies. You don't know about the torture. You've done none of your homework, or you're just a malicious SOB who couldn't care any less. You just don't care that people were tortured and people were killed. None of that matters to you because you want to wear a cool Che Guevara or Fidel Castro t-shirt and look cool with your left-wing buddies in the gym on the Upper East Side of New York. You got to be kidding me. This is the real world. This guy was a murderous thug on a rampage for decades. And again, I never celebrate anybody's death. But to celebrate this man's life is an act of utter, complete, total, embarrassing ignorance or malicious, evil behavior on your part. You should be ashamed and absolutely disgusted. Sorry we had to do this today, folks. You know, it's a Thanksgiving holiday, but if we don't remind people of the horrors of Fidel Castro, we're doomed to repeat it with the next generation. See you soon.